Okay, namaste and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on growing up with the Gita and the Bhagavad Gita Pariksha. Our special guest is Dr. Kalika Uttarkar, a faculty, amazing person, and I'm going to introduce her shortly. And if you haven't yet, please put in the chat where you're zooming in from. Shantaji from Montreal, glad to have you with us today. I'm in Oakland, actually, for the weekend. Dr. Uttarkar, where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Great, great. And again, if you haven't yet, please put in the chat where you're zooming in from. And Mahesh Ji and Yaswin Ji from Chicago, thank you for joining. We have to introduce you to Nina Naramunchi, heading up our Friends of HUA chapter over there in Chicago. Ramji from Virginia. Harish Ji from Richmond, Virginia. Glad to have you on. Chennai, India, represented by Vani Ji. Thank you. Great, great. Mahesh already knows Vijayji. Great, of course. This Hindu University of America network is really developing, and it's glad to have all of you join us today for this webinar on growing up with the Gita. So, I grew up in America and went through so many learning and growing pains. And we know and we've seen that our Hindu youth are struggling with so many layers, right? The identity crisis, academic pressures. There's a disconnection from cultural roots. I feel it. I see my younger cousins feel it. My younger brothers are very disconnected. And we see the influence of Western distortions and Hindu phobic propaganda. We see it, we know it's real, and we are concerned about it. So we have, what do we do about it? How do you protect and empower our youth? How do we protect and empower our youth? And it goes back to the core of who we are as Hindus and some of our itihasas, right? The Bhagavad Gita itself offers timeless wisdom to navigate life's complexities. And at HUA, we're dedicated to helping you use this guiding light to support our youth. So growing up with the Gita is a course designed especially for Hindu American youth to overcome the unique challenges they face. This course guides adolescents through self-discovery, relationships, personal growth, empowering them with resilience and empathy. So it's so important for us to elevate the significance of ancient scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita because it, for so many reasons, but it fosters community support. It helps our youth navigate life confidently, right? That clarity and confidence we often lack as Hindus. And so in today's webinar, we have our learned faculty, Dr. Kalika Uttarkar, and she's going to introduce this course, some of the other initiatives she's doing at HUA. And so with that, let me introduce Kalika ji, who actually completed her MA and PhD degrees in philosophy from the University of Pune. She finished her master's in psychotherapy and counseling. She has over 25 years of experience in teaching philosophy, conducting life skills, corporate training, workshops for yoga and mental health. And she does a lot of work with youth. She has different programs, different initiatives, and Hindu University of America is glad, proud, honored to be partnering with Dr. Uttarkar on so many of these different initiatives. She teaches several courses at Hindu University of America. We're not going to get into all of those other ones. We're going to focus on growing up with the Gita. We may make a mention of the other stuff, but she's also been the leading, one of the leading faculty on our Bhagavad Gita Pariksha initiative as well. And so we're going to get into all of that in today's webinar. And with that, let me hand it over to her after giving Dr. Diksha Shukla from India a shout out. And if you haven't put in the Zoom chat where you're zooming in from, please do, and I'll give you a shout out. But with that, let me hand it to Dr. Uttarkar, who is joining us from Dallas.
Thank you, Ankurji, and namaste, everybody. Thank you, Ankurji, for that kind introduction. And it's always my pleasure to be introducing this course, Growing Up with Gita, to new members. And so, yes, let's begin to understand what this course is about. So, Ankurji has very well established a nice background and he's given some very nice thoughts how this Bhagavad Gita is relevant and important to our youth. So, we'll go into details. So, to start with, I would say that Bhagavad Gita is our introduction to our own divinity. Most of the time, we do not realize that we are divine. We feel constrained, we feel restrained, we feel locked up, we feel small, we feel limited. And that sows the seeds for our sorrow and sadness. And in the modern world, we see that we are facing so many issues on the individual level, on the family level, on the social level, um, because we are not able to understand who we are. And therefore, the whole process of living is becoming difficult because we don't know how to connect with others. We don't know what to expect out of others, what to expect from ourselves, or what to achieve in life, and how to choose my actions. So, all this becomes very difficult, and especially with the younger generation. Uh, Growing up with Gita is an introduction of this understanding, wisdom, and knowledge to the younger generation, which is so very well um, brought together in Bhagavad Gita. Now, Bhagavad Gita is a foundational scripture, ancient scripture, which talks about our ancient Vedic knowledge. So, very rightly and beautifully, it is said that Sarvopanishado Gao Dogdha Gopalanandana Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamrutam Mahat. So, Sarvopanishadu, that is all the Upanishadic knowledge, is very beautifully brought into Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is said to be the essence of Upanishads. So, the philosophical essence of our Sanatan Dharma, of the Ved tradition, is all about in Bhagavad Gita. Now, how do we reach with this knowledge to the youths, new children from the age of 10 to 25? So this course is specifically tailored for this age group. This course will go on for 10 weeks, and this is conducted for two batches. The first batch is from age 10 to 14. These are middle schoolers. And the second batch is from 15 to 25, high schoolers and the college going. So we have made these two batches because we are trying to bring in Bhagavad Gita to these students based on the issues that they are facing while they are living their life and proceeding in the journey of learning. So that's the reason we have made this two batches. And the whole course is tailored in such a way that all those problems, physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, whichever are faced by the younger generation, they are tackled. And we see that in the light of Bhagavad Gita, in the light of wisdom of Bhagavad Gita, how they can navigate through these issues and how they can understand themselves better. So, this is the main theme of growing up with Gita. And basically, to put it in a nutshell, I would say that Bhagavad Gita develops a very strong and firm character with a robust personality. And how does this happen? Because we all want our newer generation to be of a lot of strength and knowledge, and how to achieve that. Apparently, they are very intelligent, they are high achievers, they are busy, they are achieving so many things. But somewhere at the background, there is this base of restlessness. Now, this is not just with the younger generation, but it is overall with everybody, irrespective of different age. We live in a restless state of mind. And when we are living in this restless state of mind, it becomes very difficult to navigate through the complexities of life and then to achieve excellence. And therefore, Bhagavad Gita comes in here. It has four pillars. I would say the first pillar to be developed is on the physical level. Four pillars on four levels. So four pillars. The first pillar is of knowledge and clarity. So one has to develop knowledge about oneself. I have clarity about who I am, and once I have this knowledge and clarity, it becomes easier to decide uh, what should I achieve, how should I achieve, and so to achieve that, we need to have courage. So the first pillar is knowledge and clarity. The second pillar is courage. One has to be honest, one has to be righteous, one has to be virtuous, but all implemented in action. As long as we cannot execute our knowledge, it is a weak state. And so how to develop this courage is the second pillar, and we will focus about that in this course. And then the next part is, we are courageous, we are knowledgeable, but we should also have empathy. So how to develop this empathy? Now, Sanatan Dharma has a different take on developing empathy, and to understand why should I have empathy. I mean, everybody says we should be empathetic, we should love others, we should try to understand what the other person is going through, but the question is why. And our philosophy is not afraid of this question why. So it is basically an analytical journey of understanding why of everything, finding the cause behind it, why this is happening. And once we understand this, uh, things become very clear, very easy. So, with knowledge, courage, and empathy, the next step, which is very important, is to attain equanimity. So, steadfastness. So, I understand everything. I'm trying to be courageous about that. I'm standing for my values. But what happens is, whenever I come across situations which are not according to my expectations, I shake. So, we all are on this roller coaster ride of sukha and dukkha. Now, there's a very beautiful definition of sukha, that is anukul vedanam sukham, pratikul vedanam dukkha. So, whenever things happen according to my expectations, that is sukha or happiness. And when things don't happen according to my expectations, I say that is sad, sorrow, that is, I'm sad about it. That is dukkha. Now, if I can be stable, if I can be unaffected, irrespective of these experiences. So, Bhagavad Gita says, Sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo. So, even when there is sukha, even when there is dukkha, even when there is victory, when there is loss, if I can stay stable, if I can stay unaffected, then I am the strongest person. And I am also the happiest person. Now, I feel that all these kinds of insights and knowledge, if they are imparted at a very young age, then life becomes more meaningful, purposeful, and it also becomes more happy. So, I am not a lost soul, but I am a very grounded soul then. I know what I am. I know what I have to achieve. So, to bring clarity on these aspects, we have designed this course. Now, what I will do is I will take you through the 10 weeks of this course. So, you will have an exact idea what we are going to discuss with the students. So, our first class deals with the problem of identity crisis. So, most of the time, young generation will have this problem of they don't know who I am exactly. I should identify myself with the country where I am living, or I should identify with the country from where my parents belong. So, my geographical identity, my cultural identity, my social identity, and then there is something which we say as spiritual identity. So, we are living life on these different layers, on different levels, and how to build a bridge between them, how to achieve balance, and how to navigate life through that is a very important thing. And therefore, in this first class, we discuss about these questions. So, what is my physical existence? How is my emotional existence? What does it mean when I say intellectual existence? And apart from all this, am I a spiritual being? And if so, what is that? What is my spiritual identity? Now, spiritual identity, according to Vedanta, according to Bhagavad Gita, according to the Upanishads, is not limited to Indian culture, is not limited to Sanatan Dharma. It is, in fact, cosmic, it is global. So, once I get identified myself as a spiritual being, then I start working on my inner restlessness, and I don't get affected by the changes those are happening around me. So, my geographical identity has a purpose. I am here to learn, I'm here to study, I'm here to work, and then my duties are accordingly designed. Then I have my social identity that designs my social responsibility. What should I do and how should I do? And all these levels are so important. If I am at rest on these levels, then I'm not shaken by the comments of the people around me, about the situations around me. Wherever I go in this world, I'm a strong and a happy person. And I want younger kids to be like this. I don't want them to be confused to understand what is it. There are so many rituals going on in my family, and they say that I'm a Hindu. When I go outside, there is a different world outside. Now, this might be a situation here in US and any other countries other than India, but there is also a problem in India because we have been colonized for centuries, and we are still weighing the weight of that colonized mindset, that we feel everything and anything that comes from the West through the language English is only valid. Other things are not valid. This colonized mindset has disturbed past 3 4 generations of ours, and especially I would say past 2 generations. And there also it is required that they understand that India is different from other world only because of its philosophical wisdom, because that gives a different understanding about who I am, and then what is my family, and what is the significance of the society that I'm living, and then the global happenings around me, and how I can contribute, how I can assimilate different controversial things, and then bring in remove all this contradiction and bring harmony. And then it would be that all individuals will be impactful, will be inspirational, and that would lead to an inspirational society, impactful society. It will not be flown away by overindulgence. These days individualism is overrated, and that is not what Bhagavad Gita says, that is not what Upanishads say. We talk about oneness, we talk about inclusivity of everything. So we will see how kids will learn that there is a difference between unity and oneness. So subtle concepts are there which need to be dissected, which needs to be understood, and then the students learn this method of analytical probing. And not just this. Now this has to be combined with practical experience. So we also give them practical techniques and the yoga concepts and different ways. So the first class is basically dealing with who I am, what is my identity, what are my identities on different level, and how to balance these identities. Then the second class works on excellence through karma. So what is karma, what is action, and how I can be excellent in whatever I do, and how to choose my actions, how to choose between right and wrong, how to decide what is right and what is not wrong. And then comes the concept of duty, dharma, swadharma. And then we also later on take it to understanding what is nishkama karma, what is detachment, how can I be at peace within, but at the same time be very vibrant, dynamic in my actions and impactful, how to strike this balance. This is the subject of our second class. Then in our third class, we learn what is the goal of my life? What is the purpose of my life? What kind of action should I do? So the concept of Purushartha is explained over here. And then what is success? What is achievement? Should I aim for success, worldly success? Yes. Should I just disregard it? No. Is that sufficient? No. Then what more is there? So, what is my ultimate achievement? What is how to understand success? What are the parameters of success? What are the parameters of achievements? All these kinds of discussions in the light of Bhagavad Gita will happen in the second class and a third class. And then in the fourth class, we discuss the interplay of trigunas. Triguna is a very beautiful concept. Sattva, Raja, and Tamas. These are the three gunas. And how all our actions, experiences, happiness, how they can be understood through this concept. This is also taken in our Ayurveda. So, how to be more sattvika, how to navigate through my rajasic desires, and how to balance my tamasic, what you can say, influences, and tamasic aspirations. So, how to strike balance between this? This is the subject matter of our fourth class. Then comes the fifth class where we learn about self restraint and authenticity. I should be an authentic person. When can I be an authentic person? When I am in fully control of myself. So, how to be self disciplined, how to be self controlled, and do I have a choice, by the way, or is everything determined? So, we talk about freedom of choice. Automatically, the next concept which comes is autonomy of will. Do I have an autonomy of will? What is autonomy of will? How to decide? Or am I just destined to do these things? Does everything happen by luck? Or is everything happening according to my aspirations, and is it in my control? So all these kinds of discussions will happen. And then they will also learn about the demonic qualities. They will learn about, that is the Daivi Sampatti and the Asuri Sampatti, the divine virtues and the demonic qualities. We all have them, irrespective whoever we might be, we all have them. So how to navigate through them, how to balance, how to increase our divine qualities. So it's like, we are helping a flower to bloom. How to bloom in a very robust and beautiful way with lot of strength. I often feel it is so amazing when there is too much of sun outside. We say that, oh, this is so hot and I'm not able to walk. When it is raining heavily, we say, oh, why it's raining so much? When it is cold, we say too much of cold. But have you seen flowers in the garden? They look so delicate. They look so uh, so pure and delicate, but they sustain that sun, they sustain that cold weather, they sustain those rains, and even then they are there adding value to this nature. How can we be like that? This is about self realization, self awakening. People talk a lot about self confidence. Self confidence cannot be acquired through patchwork, that do this and you will be self confident, do this and then this will happen. Speak like this, walk like this, talk like this, and you will appear to be self confidence. No, first we have to understand and be sure about who I am. What is this self? Confidence is an automatic reflection of the knowledge about self. That is something which we discuss with the kids. And then we have, it is an, all these classes are interactive classes, so they keep asking questions, I keep asking them questions, and then there is so much of discussion happening at their level. So that becomes very interesting. Then the next topic we handle in the sixth class is about emotional stability and resilience. So emotionally, how can I be a much a stable person? So first, let me understand what are my emotions. Can I observe my emotions? Can I see them coming and going? Then can I have control over my emotions? Can I express my emotions in a beautiful way? Can I respect other person's emotions? So this is all about that. And then resilience. So how can I rise up even in the scenario of adversity? Whenever there are difficult situations, how can I stay strong? This is important because these days we see that children sometimes they get so many resources right from the childhood, and everything is um, just before them. So when the situation is not like that, when it is difficult, sometimes they are confused. They don't know how to react. How should I? What should I do? And then they might turn to different kind of substances and substance abuse, and certain problems are there. Relational issues are there. What is a relationship? How should I develop relationships with my friends? How should I develop my relationship with my parents, my older generation? How should I connect with the younger generation? uh, it is very necessary that we learn to connect with all generations, but sometimes kids are not equipped with this. They are only comfortable with their age group. If that is happening with our child, we should be very careful and see to it that the child is comfortable with all age groups. As we talk about being comfortable with all ethnicity, this age group is also a very important factor. If the child is comfortable with the grandparents, and if the child is also comfortable with a younger cousin, then that is good. So then they are able to navigate in the society with everybody. So that is something to be developed. So how to develop that? That is the topic. So relationships and adaptability comes here in focus. Then of course we know so many things, but it is so difficult to practice them. So how to build this bridge between my knowledge and my action, my behavior? Here comes the practice of yoga. So we teach them how to do pranayam. We introduce them with basic pranayam, meditation, omkar, how to do that. So one class is all about practical yoga, and then tips on how to handle, what to do when I'm angry, what to do when I'm sad. So there are situations. So we take situations, they go through different quizzes, they can assess themselves, get their score, they understand themselves, and then we discuss how to navigate this and what how Bhagavad Gita helps us in this. And then there is this very beautiful concept of bhakti in Bhagavad Gita. Now, somebody will say that how is the younger generation, how will they be attracted to this concept of bhakti? I say yes, they will be, because love is the supreme word, isn't it? And when they are middle schoolers, they're high schoolers, they also want to understand what is love. So Bhagavad Gita comes with an different understanding of love. It is divine understanding of love. And then it is just how do I express that in all my relationships? And what do I expect from others? And how much can I expect? So that kind of a discussion is there. Bhakti also teaches them how to dissolve their egos at a point, and how they are much, much bigger than their ego. Ego is not the biggest thing, it brings us down, it limits us. But expansion that happens through bhakti. So they understand a different meaning of surrender, love, acceptance, adaptability. So that way this discussion goes on. And then the ninth class is about understanding what is the meaning of sthita prajna. That could be my highest goal. That could be my highest achievement. As I said in the beginning, sukha dukkhe same krutva labha labho jaya jaya. I should be steadfast, equanimous in all situations. Things will come and go, situations will happen, people will come and go, relationships will be there, won't be there. I am not the same person always. I am young, very small. Then I am a youth. Then I become an adult. Then I become old. This youth is also overrated, I feel. From age 15 to at the most, I would say 45. How many years? 30 years. From 45 to 85, how many years? And are we prepared for those years? Are those years aspirational for us? Life is a spectrum, starting from 0 to 100. So, how to live that life, how to get oneself prepared at every stage, and how to do it gracefully with a robust understanding of everything is all about growing up with Gita. So, this is, as I said, started in the beginning, it is an introduction to divinity within. So, just open to any questions you can ask me.
Wow, Kalikaji, that was amazing. Going through week by week what we're offering in the course, right? And really some of the concepts that I picked up on, this early investment in this last piece about the timeline, right? We know if we invest early, the
Yes.
dividends are so much greater. And me myself, right? I didn't get into this until after college, but this is something that the community has been asking us, and this
Yes.
course that you have developed really clearly goes from that class one, like you said, identity, through all the different subjects that you self-restraint and authenticity, courage, empathy, equanimity. And one of the things that really got me is, how do we help a flower bloom? Right? We want our children to be successful and bloom. And this is an overriding concern of our entire community. And so this course is specifically designed to address that. And you heard it right here. Kalikaji went through class by class, and the development, right? Building from the foundation to
Yes,
that
yes,
last
yes.
class that is on what is my purpose? What is the highest aspiration I have? And you could see that progression just in this short webinar, as Kalika ji outlined. And imagine putting your children, your nieces, your nephews, whoever you think needs in this course over 10 weeks. It's going to be transformational. So let's take some
Transformation,
questions.
and I agree with you, Ankurji, absolutely. And this is going to be magic. It's magic because I was introduced to this when I was very young, and my parents, I was fortunate enough that my parents had this kind of background. My father being my guru, my everything. And I came across these situations, and initially, as every child feels, I never realized these were that important. But as I was growing and I started relating them to my life, so relating our philosophy to our youth's life and their problem is a must. Only then they will carry forward it. Otherwise, it just becomes a golden ring in the cupboard of my mother, which is very precious, but I don't use it. But I know it's precious. When I bring that ring and put it on my fingers, where I see whether it's fitting me or not, then it becomes mine. So this philosophy has to be related to young generation and their problems. That's what I feel. And it really, from my personal experience, I would say, me as an individual growing, and I had now having my kids going to college, and seeing how they have bloomed, and then being across so with so many kids, I really feel that the element of happiness, the happiness quotient is very important. And with all this, what happens? What is the best takeaway from this? I would say that we start living a happy life. We are peaceful and happy from within. And then, that gives so much of strength that we can face life however it comes. So, this is magic. And I feel this has to be handed over to the new generation.
Yeah. And one of the other examples we use, we are sitting on so much ancient knowledge, wisdom, this heritage, right? That ring example that you use, it's up to us to make sure that it is shared to the next generation, that we are stewards, that it is restored, that it is
Yes.
developed and shared in a way that resonates with our Hindu youth in this country. And so this whole identity crisis
Yes.
issue, it's so, we all see it, we feel it, right? And you articulate the geographical identity, the cultural identity, the spiritual identity, the different layer, the social identity. And then the other line that you use is confidence is a reflection of our understanding of the self. So with that identity crisis, understanding where we're coming from, building that confidence, that reflects, it projects. And I agree. I think this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be magical. This is going to be an important course. Maheshji, yes, all of the courses are going to be recorded, but we want synchronous learning. We want the students to be able to engage with Dr. Utakar in real time, ask the questions, engage, and also with their cohort. So the other students get to hear those questions, answer in real time, engage. But yes, all of our courses are recorded. They'll be available online. If somebody misses a particular course, they'll be able to catch up. And then did you want to add on that, Dr. Utakar?
Yes, interaction really brings in so much of fun. And kids are very enthusiastic. They ask questions, and I'm waiting for those questions. In one of my class, a student said that I was just asking, what made you take this class? And this child said that I didn't want to take this. My parents have pushed me into this. So I said, yes, I understand. Absolutely. And I'm with you. But now, what is your plan? Then the child said, no, let me see what you are talking. With that kind of a mindset, this child was with me for 10 weeks, and the amazing essay that the child wrote. The question was, how have I internalized these concepts? And the child had written an amazing essay. And then it really brought tears in my eyes, and I thought, wow, uh, children think so much, and they genuinely they ask questions, and that is a very beautiful experience. So don't worry if you feel that your kids will not be attracted to this topic. Just bring them, give them to me, and we will work on it. And they will have this friend, philosopher, and guide called Bhagavad Gita with them throughout their life. You and me won't be there, but Bhagavad Gita will stay. And whenever they are into problems, whenever they are into any dilemmas, because Bhagavad Gita is based on the platform of dilemma, basically. Arjun had this dilemma, what to do and what not to do. It's such a beautiful way of putting a subject, isn't it? So we all have dilemmas, and how to handle these dilemmas is what it is all about. So we feel as elders, do we are we into more dilemmas? No, as a child also they are into dilemmas. So much of stress is there, so many dilemmas are there. What to do, what not to do? Should I sleep or should I play is also a dilemma. So it begins with that, and then it grows on. So yeah, that way it helps.
Great. We've got a couple more questions. I dropped in the chat the link to register. It's going to be Tuesdays for 8th graders and below, Wednesdays for 9th graders to 25. We do have this kind of age bracket. Shantaji, I hear you. The young at heart. Yes, I appreciate you, Shantaji, but we're really trying to create cohorts and batches of similar age groups so that the youth are comfortable with each other. And we know this, and even me, I'm now 38. I feel that divide coming between the younger generation and myself. I used to be able to connect better. I still do. But so in that cohort, in that class model, we do want to keep those two groups
Specific, yeah.
specific. And so it's going to be Tuesdays and Wednesdays. It's going to start next, 2 weeks. June 11th is going to be the first week that we're going to be offering. This is going to be starting. Galika ji, if you want to, please put your questions in the Q&A box. It's much
Yes.
easier than going through the chat. I'm trying to find questions. But no, Nivedita ji, we don't have any courses for 6 to 8-year-old kids, right? We are Hindu University of America. We have been trying to have higher level programs, PhD, MAs, certificate programs. But obviously the need for the youth is so great that we have developed this particular course for the 10 to 14-year-olds and 15 to 25. We don't have anything for 6 to 8-year-old kids yet, maybe in the future. So that's
Ankuji, I was
yeah.
thinking that, with this, some of our friends who are young at heart, we can come up with a program, in the near future where all these philosophical concepts of Bhagavad Gita can be introduced in one of the course. So, yeah, keep looking. We might
I
come
love
up
that. The
with
young at
something.
heart course. Shantaji, you're gonna be our star student for that one.
Yes.
Vaniji is asking, where did you learn the Bhagavad Gita? What is some of your background? And maybe you could talk about your journey a little bit.
Okay, okay. So I'm basically from Pune, back India in Bharat, and I studied my master's and PhD in Pune University. The title of my thesis was Philosophy of Life with reference to major 11 Upanishads. And so I learned Bhagavad Gita from my teachers. And let me share this, that basically I learned all of philosophy and Vedanta from my father. He is a yogi and a very what I can say. He has stayed in the Himalayas for many years, and then he is into meditation and all deep spirituality. So I was fortunate enough to be his first daughter, and since my childhood, as he taught me to walk, to eat, he also taught me to meditate. He taught me to look at the world from a different perspective, and because of him, my first friend, I would say, was my father, and next to him was Sri Krishna. So I always thought that Sri Krishna should be my friend. I should meet this person, and amazing he is. So, my I cannot tell you when I started learning Bhagavad Gita, but I'm still learning Bhagavad Gita, is what I can say. And I do not limit myself to one specific version or commentary of Bhagavad Gita. Now, I know from where your question is coming. So, this is not limiting to any particular translation commentary. But yes, I do refer to Gita Press Gorakhpur translation of original Sanskrit into Marathi, Hindi, English. They have these versions where they do not deviate, or they do not have this influence of a specific Vishishta Advait, or Advaitavad, or Vishishta Sampradaya. So we must try to see as it is in the Bhagavad Gita and see the relevance of it with our problems. So I encourage students to do independent thinking and relate concepts to their life. Only then they will take it ahead. So that is my approach.
Great, great. Who's asking? Krishan Mittalji. I answered your question, but let me say it one more time. So Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be the course for the younger kids, 10 to 14-year-olds below 8th grade. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be the class for 9th graders through 25 years old or so. We will continue to expand, refine, and develop programs and courses for different age groups. But this is the course that is being offered in 10 days. So enroll your kids, as Kalikaji said, give your kids to her just online, and you will see a transformation. They will learn so much, the vocabulary, the depth, the confidence. It is amazing. It's beautiful. And now I am going to use this opportunity to pivot and discuss the Bhagavad Gita Pariksha. So one of the lines, and we've seen it, right? Our kids are doing so well in so many aspects of Western society and academia on the spelling bee, right? We're up there winning the spelling bee consistently, but there's so much more. There's that superficial understanding, and there's that depth that this Bhagavad Gita has. And so we've developed a Bhagavad Gita Pariksha, a competition that incentivizes and the learning and a competitive way of the Gita. We had a pilot last year in North Carolina, the Hindu Society of North Carolina hosted. We had developed a lot of different ideas, a prize pool, multiple choice questions, verbal, oral kind of examination. And honestly, I did a lot of work for it. It was a lot of logistics and organizing, and I was wondering, is it going to be worth it? What is going to come out of this? But being in that room, in that competition, and hearing the 10-year-old kid talk about how the Gita helped them with their anxiety, or the 12-year-old kid talked about how they used something from the Bhagavad Gita to address bullying, or how it just gave them confidence and clarity, meditation, all these different things coming from, the mouths of babes, from children, talking about how this is helping them, was just so beautiful. And it created an incentivized, competitive framework that kind of elevated the Bhagavad Gita, which is what we're trying to do, because it's such an important text. It needs to be shared. And so this Bhagavad Gita Pariksha competition, we're hoping and encouraging other local mandirs and temples across the country to host. And what that would allow us to do is create a series of regional competitions that would then feed into a national competition. Again, building the clout, the credibility, the recognition, and bringing people in. Again, it was devised as a way to help Hindu University of America get the word out about the university, about what we're doing. But in and of itself, it is a wonderful initiative. So let me launch a quick poll. Let us know if you're interested in taking the course, I put enrolling your children in the course because I don't think too many young people are in this webinar, but just let us know if you're interested, yes, no, or maybe. And then if your local temple might be interested in hosting the BGP, that's the acronym, Bhagavad Gita Pariksha. And then we can do a presentation, we can answer questions. It's just, so, and taking that step back, what Hindu University is doing, where we are now, where we are going, we need you to be a part of this. We need you, your family, your kids, your temple, your Hindu organizations, to take courses, to tell people, to donate money. In all of these ways, we are building an important institution that is going to last 1,000 years or more, right? And this is the key time. Invest early so that we can have those long-term gains. So please answer that poll question. We have almost 50 people with us today on this webinar. I see Krishan Mittalji, you have your hand up, and so does Sophia. Before we maybe take questions from the audience verbally, audibly, it's always nice to get that level of interaction. I know in the webinar, it's just me and usually our guest, even if it is Dr. Uttarkar, it's nice to get some extra voices. But before we do that, let's take a look at any other Q&A, any questions in the box. And Kalikaji, if you want to make any other comments on this.
Okay, are there any questions like? So, there is one question which often comes in is why should our kids study Bhagavad Gita? You know, often. Sometimes parents are convinced, but they are not equipped to teach their students so that this is a good way of bringing them here. Sometimes parents are well equipped, but co-learning with the similar age group also makes an effect. So sometimes, being a parent, children might not take it as a very valid kind of a statement, but somebody else talking, they feel yes, this is important. So that is also one reason. Now another thing is very important which I would like to share is why Hindu students all over the world should study Bhagavad Gita. Now, the benefits of Bhagavad Gita are immense. It is whatever we spoke for last few minutes, all that is there. Apart from that, there is one aspect which I feel is that it is our duty. That we have a cultural identity, we have a spiritual identity, and it is our duty that we first learn it, know it, bring it into our action. What happens is we become role models for others. When I'm moving into this society, having different professions and different, my behavior, if it is different, people look at me and they feel impressed. And then they say that, oh, how can you be so stable when the situation is like this? And then you tell them that this is because of Bhagavad Gita. It has been with me. This is because of that philosophy. It helps me. Then even people who are outside this culture can benefit through it. This is a contribution to enhance the quality of the society at large. So it is not about just being a Hindu, but our kids can be ambassadors of an amazing philosophy, of an amazing way of life. And that way we are adding value in the society. Whichever religion, whichever culture the people around us might be. But if they feel that there is a difference in the behavior, there is so much of goodness, there is so much of self control, then automatically that is creating an impact. And this is adding to more good in the society. And apart from this, as we use our surname, family name in our name, why? Because we belong to our family, our parents. There is a lineage. Similarly, we also have a spiritual lineage which we should be aware of, about which we should know, and about which we should be happy and proud, and we should add to that. It is not just taking something and moving ahead, but it's also adding into that. As time progresses, situations differ, societies change. Even then, if this knowledge is staying relevant at all times, at all places, then this is something to be looked into, understood, and implemented. So I feel that if we as a society take it as our duty, then I think we will have more force into this work and we will add more value.
And we were talking about this earlier, right?
Yes.
The framework that we have in the West versus the East, right? In the West, we have individual, we have my rights, my freedom, we have that kind of individualistic uh, might is right, greed is good, right?
Yes.
This whole paradigm of power
Power.
versus in the East, where we're from, and especially in Sanatana Dharma, we have a paradigm of knowledge. We have responsibilities, and as you're saying, duties. It's a very different cultural, civilizational framework. And it's confusing coming here and understanding some of it, but then being immersed in this culture. And so having this
Yes.
kind of conversation and discussion is important. And maybe you can also put it in context. Somebody's asked in context of the Mahabharata, right? The Gita is in context of the Mahabharata. How do you take one itihasa in context of all of these others? And especially for young people who are not necessarily familiar with how they all fit together and what they're about.
Yes. So first, I agree with what you said about individualism. Let me take up that first. So individualism is what? Who am I? I am this person with the physical existence. I am this person with certain set of emotions. I am this person with set of certain concepts and thoughts, intelligence, and all that is me, aham, as it is said. So all this comes down to my ego, that I am this. And then I keep protecting that, keep safeguarding that, and try to impact people through that. But that is weakness. As long as I am trying to impact and influence people through my limited existence, it is never going to be an story of success. But if I am that unlimited being, then my impact becomes unlimited. It doesn't contradict with anything that is limited. This is very important point. If my existence is unlimited, if I consider myself to be unlimited, it will not contradict with anything that is limited in this world. This confidence comes only through knowledge. And I feel that is an answer to individualism, because in Sanatan Dharma, we talk about oneness, all. So, okay, all is also quantitative, it's just one. If we all are Brahman, if that is the ultimate reality we share, then what makes us different is our name and our form. So if we are just different by name and form, then how much animosity can be developed? And how much competition can be done? And how much should I just collect for myself? All these questions become so relevant. And then if I'm a secure person, I am not affected by what other people do. But at the same time, I'm also pursuing excellence. Whatever I'm doing, I do it perfect. In nature, when we go, you just pick up a leaf and see the science behind it, see the beauty it shows. I mean, it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's scientific. It has so much of system in it, so much of science. So nothing in this world is just randomly created. Everything has the base of cosmic intelligence. So if I'm also part of that, automatically whatever I'm doing, it has to be best. So I'm also pursuing excellence, but I'm peaceful from within. And then individualism comes from an insecure mindset. Power display comes from insecurity. So we have to overcome this. Let it be on the political level, let it be on the individual level. There is insecurity, then there is power play. But when there is no insecurity, it is collaboration. It is live and let live. It is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. So it goes that way. So one way I feel is equipping our new generation with all these thoughts, and they will display it throughout the world, wherever and whichever profession they are in, whichever role they are playing. So this is Bhagavad Gita is all about understanding who I am and what role I am playing, about dharma, swadharma. And then, when this clarity is there, automatically everything falls in place.
Beautifully said. We have 3 hands up in the participant window. I think we've gone through all the questions. All right, folks, I'm gonna unmute, give you the opportunity to unmute. Please do not be long. Pixel 7a, it'd be nice if we got your name in there as well. You asked some kind of general questions. What does Atma help us on explain self-realization? Those are very obviously big topics, not the subject of this. So I expect you're going to say something about that. Just try to keep it on point for this. So I've got 3 people who have their hands raised. Krishan Mittoji, Miss Sophia, I think this might be the first time you get a chance to speak. And Pixel 7a, if you can rename yourself or let me know what to rename yourself. So if one of you can unmute and ask your question. Miss Sophia, first to go. Yes, go ahead. Sophia?
Hi,
Hi, go ahead. Please.
do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Miss Sophia is from
Hi.
Brazil. Portuguese is the first language. So.
Yes, I am from Brazil, and I would like to comment that I had the person that introduced you to emotions, but one was she offered at work. I found out it's interesting way and it explains how emotions gives us insightful thoughts on the various aspects of one's own life, be it study time and a person, home, work, governance, and policy making, framing, friendships, and many others. Albeit her main focus was mostly on health aspect. Also, I should often you that she is a very nice professional and that she often answers one's questions and emails. Should you are looking for a professional that often answers your queries, she is the right person for such an expectation besides being a good professional.
Okay.
In addition, I would like to tell you that she is very able to make interesting links between emotions and Bhagavad Gita, as well as it is worth listening to her very nice overview like this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sophia.
And
Thank you,
I also
Sophia.
would like to
And-
show you.
Yeah, thank you. So do you have that also in writing? It was hard to make out everything that you said, but
Thank you, Sophia. She's been my student in the Upanishad class. So she had taken our course Upanishad Part 1. So Sophia, thank you for your kind words, but it would also help everybody to understand what you're saying. If you can write it down in the chat, probably Ankurji can read it out to everybody.
Yeah,
and
I
thank
will
you.
share my words.
Yes, thank you, Sophia. Thank you. Can we move on to Krishan?
Share my words. Share my words.
thank you, Sophia. Krishanji,
Please
you're up next.
unmute yourself, Sophia, please.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Krishanji, we can hear you.
Okay. My question was simple. You mentioned something about the pilot program in North Carolina in this society. Can you throw a little bit light on it? Because I'm trying to do something like this, or maybe I can have you guys come and help us. But my temple is not very open for this.
Temple's not very open for this.
I'm trying
So
to use
I know I kind of went through quick. I do have a PowerPoint and I can share this with everyone who's interested. So I'll do this quickly. I don't want to take too much time.
You
right?
can send it to me if you can. I mean, you don't even have to
So we
take
have this
time.
PowerPoint where we get into some details and this bottom line, right? This bridge between young people and their local mandir through incentivized studying, learning, and sharing of the Gita, right? Here's some nice photos of what we did in North Carolina, the kids, the mandir organizers. We had judges. It took months of organizing, right? We had local supporters. It was the first one. And as I mentioned, morning exam, morning written exam, verbal exam in the afternoon, the 2 different age groups for 9th grade and below, 10th grade and above. And then, of course, growing up with the Gita is a big part of this, right? Preparing our students, giving them a direction and an angle and a purpose. And so building multiple components towards this initiative is where we are at. So please, I don't want to take up too much time.
No, I understand.
Right,
Does Kalikaji come there herself or we do it on Zoom with her?
No, it depends on how many we do, right?
Okay.
Last year in North Carolina, Dr. Uttarkar was a judge. She came out, we made it. It was only one. If we have multiple Gita Parikshas, I don't know if she will be able to travel to all of them, and we'll figure that out. If
Yeah.
we can get some mandirs and temples to confirm and set
Yeah.
dates, and then we can start moving. So that's kind of the ask.
Awesome.
If anybody's interested, happy to
It's so hard to
work
get
with
these
you
people
on
convinced,
this.
the temple people. I don't.
Exactly, exactly.
So much
So we're looking
information.
for Mandir partners, right? Hosting, logistics, proctoring, you know, raising some money for a prize pool makes it worthwhile. It could be less money, whatever the community is comfortable with. And HUA and Dr. Uttarkar worked on developing the exam, and we continue to iterate it so that we're developing
To
new
start with, I'm
questions.
glad to throw $12,000 on it, but
Yeah.
to
Again,
convince
just to,
people to become.
yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you
we'll
so much.
develop graphics and
Okay,
landing pages and registrations and all of that if we can get
thank you so much.
participation. Thank you, Krishanji. All right,
Thank
Pixel 7A, you're up next. Right, Pixel 7A, one last chance. Oh, nope, did not unmute. Okay. I know as an attendee of a webinar, sometimes you may step away and your name gets called. It's okay. We'll take another second to, are there other questions that popped up in the Q&A box? Nothing new. Okay. Well, this is, I mean, I always enjoy hosting these webinars, participating, engaging with so many people who are interested in these same subjects, topics, and engaging in this way. Somebody. Yeah, again, if you put the questions in the chat, it's hard for me to follow. Did I
Oh
answer
yes,
it?
there is this question, Ankush, in the Q&A. I'm trying to get my 25-year granddaughter to get into it. Krishnanji. Yes,
Yeah,
Krishnan,
that's Krishanji.
she's most welcome.
Yeah, so the age is right on the line, so welcome her into the program if she can
Okay.
get it.
Could you throw some light on self-realization? Yes. All our courses are about self-realization. So if you are interested in sending somebody to Gita Pariksha and growing up with Gita, all discussion revolves around this concept. And if you are interested, then I would recommend you please join our Introduction to Upanishads. So I'm taking two courses in Introduction to Upanishads, where we take all 11 Upanishads and a very detailed discussion of self-realization, what is Brahman, what is Atman, what is the relation between that, what is Karma Siddhanta, what is transmigration theory, all that is discussed in that. So you're always welcome to that course and we can have elaborate discussions.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, if you haven't filled out the poll, please do. About half of the folks have filled it out so far. Just look for it, minimize the screen, and let us know if you're interested in the course or helping to organize a Gita Pariksha competition in your region. That is about it from me. Dr. Uttarkar, maybe some closing thoughts and statements, and I'll just end with, it's always a pleasure. Love to be a part of this. I feel like I found my path, and I think a lot more Hindus, especially in America, can get on that dharmic path if they join HUA in whatever way fits for you and your family.
Sure, Ankuji. I agree with that. And it is, even for me, it has been a wonderful life because Bhagavad Gita Upanishads have been part of my life since very young age. And it has benefited me immensely as a person, as a parent, as a teacher. And so that is a good thing. So this is our legacy of Sanatan Dharma, to understand who we are. And we are so fortunate enough that this knowledge and wisdom is available to us. So let us all get together and, in whichever way possible, try to bring the younger generation to this window of wisdom. And if your granddaughters, nephews, daughters, if they are interested, just bring them here. And if you feel that you can do something collectively for a group of students over there, then also let us know. HUA is all open to collaborate and to get in more and more souls in this journey. I don't say people, I always say we want more souls in this journey of self-realization, and everybody is welcome, irrespective of your cultural identity and your social identity. Everybody is welcome. We are open because this is the main purpose of our life, to understand who I am. That is the purpose. Otherwise we keep doing so many things in life, but at the end of it we feel this is not that, something more is still remaining. What is that? What is that? Let us find out what is that and who I am. So
Yeah,
thank you,
I
everybody.
know I said let's close out, but in our character of inclusivity and keeping it going, Maheshji is asked to speak as well. So I'll give you a quick
Sure.
chance to make a quick comment or question.
Yeah, I just had one question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So after this 10 week program, will there be like a project or something we have to complete in completion of this program?
Okay, that's a nice question. Actually, I missed on telling that. So 9 weeks is our, we will be going on with different topics, and the 10th week is the week of presentation. So all the students will present their, I will give the topics on which you can choose and present. So there will be small presentations, because I don't want students to just copy something from ChatGPT and say, give me an essay. So from this course onwards, I have changed the whole format. It's going to be discussion, and they will be talking, and they will be telling about their experience and their journey of internalization. So don't worry, there is no extra project kind of thing, particularly for this course, but probably a very good presentation at the end of the course in the 10th week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking, Mahesh. Sounds like you're in middle school or high school. Glad to have you join us and engage.
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Yesaswin. I'm actually in high school. So
High school.
Okay,
Yes.
that's nice.
Great. Thank you for
Looking
joining and
forward
being
to
part
see
and
you
asking
then.
your question.
yes.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. That put a smile on my face, just having a young person
Yes.
actually engage through this webinar. And thank you all for being a part of this, engaging, joining, asking your questions.
Ankuji,
It's a
Sophia
pleasure.
is sending something, she said. She needs a minute or so. Maybe whatever she said, she's just sending it in a document. And
Okay. She's asking for 10 minutes. I don't know if we're gonna be
yes.
able to hold on for 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Unless
Otherwise, you
there's a
can send
bunch
it
more
on the
questions
email.
or
Yeah,
issues
you can
coming up.
send an email.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah. There's some more chat going on. Okay, I think that is going to be it for today's webinar. Galagaji, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ankurji. Thank you. It's always a very nice experience to conduct webinars along with you. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining on the weekend and spending your time with us. And keep looking for our webinars every week. We come up with different topics. Our amazing faculties are there. And just try to be part of HUA, try to be part of this journey. And looking forward to see you all in different courses. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.